Monsome News Agency informs.
On March 27th, Prime Minister of Mongolia Hursukh delivered an address to the people and entities of Mongolia to introduce the government's new measures concerning the economic impact of COVID-19 pandemic. In the time of the coronavirus crisis, the government adheres to two main principles. First, to protect the health of the Mongolian people, and second, to pay attention to the economic situation. In this connection, we are utilizing all available resources. 17 billion turgis has been disbursed for purchasing essential medical equipment as well as disinfection and decontamination, and additional 20.6 billion turgis is to be allocated. 159 billion turgis financing will be spent for necessary medical and protective equipment, and so on. He then noted that the government is spending 200 billion turgis in total to safeguard the health of the people. Afterwards, Prime Minister Hursukh announced that the government of Mongolia decided to take the following measures to be financed with 5.1 trillion turgis to support the country's economy weakened by the coronavirus outbreak. All entities and companies are exempt from paying social insurance contributions for 6 months from April 1st until October 1st. Personal income tax will be waived for 6 months from April 1st to October 1st. Entities with revenues of less than 1.5 billion turgis are entitled to exemption of corporate tax for 6 months from April 1st to October 1st. For 3 months, the government will pay monthly 200,000 turgis to each employee of private companies keeping their workers on their job despite the difficulties in their businesses and declining revenues. Loan with 3% interest rate totaling 300 billion turgis will be granted by the government to national cashmere companies for purchasing cashmere from herders. Cashmere prices will be set at about 100,000 turgis. This measure is expected to directly benefit 233,000 herding families, according to the Prime Minister. For 3 months, the monthly child money allowance of 20,000 turgis to children aged under 18 is raised to 30,000 turgis. Necessary measures will be taken so that the retail price of fuel per liter would be cut by 300 to 400 turgis starting April 15th. During the address, the Prime Minister expressed his position on the President's address on the steps for containing the impacts of COVID-19. Following the Prime Minister's address, Finance Minister Hursukh introduced that the state budget is running short of 275 billion turgis than planned, and the 5.1 trillion turgis required for the new measures will be made available through the government's appropriate capital management of state funds. The Finance Minister also mentioned that the government has paid off debts amounting to 8.2 trillion turgis in the past 3 years with the help of budget discipline and economic growth.